house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Lisa Lunetta. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. If you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our link for a Patreon in the info box below. Holler for $1. Okay, so yesterday, campaigning hadn't really begun for votes because it was still before the power veto ceremony. But some of the house guests were trying to figure out how the votes are going to fall if the nominations stay the same. We got Christine versus Cassandra. So Tim and Mitch were telling Cassandra, you're going to have the votes to stay. It's all going to be good. But I don't know. Raul, Jared, and Kelsey were also telling her that they're going to vote for her. Yeah, you say that now, but like when it comes down to it, I don't know. It almost seems like the votes are going to be pretty even. There's going to be 11 people voting this week, but I'm going to get into that more in just a minute. I just think it's like really bad gameplay on Levita's part that she marked her target not just before the power of veto, but before she like confirmed that she would have the votes to get rid of said target. Like, I think that's just so dumb because now if she stays, she knows that she was your target. Duh. Okay, so Levita asked Dallas if he's going to use the veto. He says no because he knows that she wants Cassandra going. He's cool with that. It's all good. But then he mentions, you know what? It'd be really awesome to make a big backdoor move. So he's like, this is the week to do it. We have the numbers. We can get this done. Let's do it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, there are things that could go wrong, but it could be really good too. So Levita's saying like, oh, I don't know, I don't really feel safe making a big move this week, but let's explore this a little bit more. So Levita leaves the room. They're going to talk about it later. Dallas and Maddie are discussing getting Jared up on the block as the replacement nominee. They feel like we're going to get him on that block and it's going to be super easy to get rid of him. So Dallas ideally would like to take Christine off with the veto and then use her vote to help get rid of Jared. They're pretty confident that Jared would go home against Cassandra, and I feel like that's probably true. But they want to talk about it more with Levita. They feel like they can convince her, so they move this discussion up to the HOH room. So they present the idea to Levita, and she's like, yeah, the thing is, like, I'd rather get rid of Raul than Jared. So they're like, you know what? That's totally fine. It's totally cool. Maddie's like, I just want to get rid of one of those three, meaning Raul, Jared, or Kelsey. She wants to start breaking up that group. So she's cool with it. But then Levita's like, yeah, but you know, Cassandra's really dangerous. We should get rid of her. So she's just like slowly moving away from the idea. So then Tim joins them, and Levita basically asks Maddie and Dallas to get out. She's like, you know, can I talk to Tim for a few minutes? Which turned into like an hour. So Levita was alone with Tim. She's telling him Dallas wants to use the power veto, and he wants to make a big move this week. He wants to take out Jared. What do we do? So Levita's like, honestly, out of the three, Jared, Raul, and Kelsey, she trusts Jared the most, so she does not want to get rid of him. She actually really does seem to trust him, but she's like really unsure of Kelsey and Raul. I feel like, no. I don't know. I think out of those three, though, she probably is the safest with Jared because he's all like, I'm going to be honest, blah, blah, blah. But I could see Raul and Kelsey like convincing him otherwise. But Tim is like, wow, that would be a big move. That would really cement you as a power player. Jared is definitely the leader of that group, so if you took him out, like, that's a big deal. And then Levita is still going back to saying that Cassandra's really sneaky. She needs to get rid of her. And it's just, like, really weird that she's saying all this stuff to Tim. Like, I don't understand because it's so clear that Tim and Cassandra are, like, best friends. So he's obviously going to tell her all this. I don't get that. But Dallas meets again with Levita, this time one-on-one, and they're talking about the same stuff, and Levita's like, I'm afraid, because she's already pissed off Christine and Cassandra by nominating them. So then if she does go after someone like Jared, and those two are still in the house, she's still got a lot of enemies here. It's really seeming like she's not gonna do this. So it was kind of interesting last night. Kelsey was campaigning for Cassandra to stay. She was talking to Phil, and she was like, I just want you to know, Cassandra was not pushing for you and Nick to go up this week. Yes, she was. So she's trying to pretend like this was some rumor or something, but it was definitely true. But Phil, I feel like he wants Cassandra to go because he, heard that she was coming after them, and he didn't like that. So Kelsey's trying to explain, like, no, Cassandra's with us. She's a number for us. We need her. And Phil's just like, chill out. We still got time, which means, like, I want to vote her ass out. So this morning, Dallas made one last attempt to convince Levita to go through with a big backdoor plan. She, again, was, like, really wishy-washy about it. And she was like, oh, that'd be awesome, but I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Seems like in the end, though, she's still not into it. She's like, I feel like puking right now. Blah. So they had the power veto ceremony, and Dallas did not use it. He didn't know what Levita was going to do. I mean, of course, he could have used it and forced her hand, but he didn't know who the replacement nominee would be, and you never know. Levita could just turn around and be like, Maddie, you're up on the block, blah, 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 and then Dallas would really be screwed. So he didn't want to risk that. So that means that Christine and Cassandra are still on the block, and one of them is going to be going home on Thursday. So now people are really starting to discuss the votes. So Phil and Ramsey were talking about what they want to do this week, and it seems like they both want Cassandra to go. So it seems like the vote could be almost evenly split because you got those two. You got Dallas, who wants to keep Christine. I figure Maddie is probably going to vote with Dallas and Ramsey. And then Nikki is very close with Christine. So I don't know if she's going to end up voting however she wants or she's going to stick with Tim. I don't even know if Tim's going to vote for Cassandra. It's hard to say. But it could end up being like a 6-5, 7-4 vote or something like that. It's going to be interesting. But even Kelsey at this point is like, maybe we should get rid of Cassandra. So you know that Kelsey comes along with 2 other votes. So that's a big voting block. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But while Phil and Ramsey were talking, Phil also brings up that he's starting to worry about Mitch. He's noticing he's got a lot of good relationships with everyone, and he also noticed that Mitch has been holding back a little bit in conversations as far as giving out information. So he's like, is he working with someone else? What's going on here? So Mitch needs to reel it in a little bit and watch out. So Tim, let's talk about fun stuff. Tim, Nikki, and Ramsey were in the prank zone today. They put dish soap in the mouthwash bottle, barbecue sauce in the shampoo, Vaseline on the toilet, which Cassandra sat on. That's disgusting. Ramsey put Nutella on the HOH toilet seat, and it looked so gross. I'm sorry. The Nutella on the toilet seat is like crossing the line. It's disgusting, but it was definitely the funniest one. I don't think they found the dish soap and the barbecue sauce ones yet, but the 2 toilet ones were found, and it was gross. The saddest part, though, was when Christine, who had nothing to do with it, was cleaning the Vaseline off of the toilet. Like, why does she have to do that? She had nothing to do with it. But anyway, then Phil, Joel, and Tim were hanging out in the pool. They were having a little mermaid school, they were calling it. It was just so weird to see people in the pool because I feel like on the Canadian one, like, they never use the pool. But it was kind of fun. So they were having contests, like, who can hold their breath the longest underwater, who could do the most laps underwater without coming up. So Phil kept winning. He stayed under for, like, about a minute. Where's David Blaine? Anybody remember that? So that was some fun stuff. But I would say definitely expect more campaigning tonight now that the power veto ceremony is over. It's going to be interesting. I honestly don't know who's going to go yet. At first I thought Cassandra was for sure going to stay. Now I'm not so sure. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you want to go home this week? And until tomorrow, much love.
Edit.